Women are cyclical beings living in a linear world. We change with the seasons, the moon, the chapters of our lives. These changes are so gradual and happen over a long period of time. And when we look back, we realize we are not the same woman that we were a year ago. Evolution isn't a single big change. It is the micro shifts that you don't even notice until you look back and reflect on past version of you. Today, we are talking about how you grow and change and are constantly evolving to become a better version of yourself, how it is important for women's health. This is the moment that you see everything come together. And I am so proud to present the final letter of the word recipe, and that is E for evolution. I'm Dr. Abby. Welcome to or back to the show. Remember, sometimes you need a sister and sometimes you need a doctor, and I am here to be both for you. So let's get into it, besties. Hey guys, welcome to the final episode of the Recipe to Your Health. And I am so grateful that you have stuck around and listened to all of my episodes this season. I am so excited for where this podcast is bringing me and where it has already brought me. And just so that you guys know, there's going to be a little bit of a pause between this season and the next season, as I am going through a busy season in life. Next weekend, I'm going to Pelvicon, which is an awesome pelvic floor conference in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'll be heading there and doing that over the weekend. I'm sure I will have so many ideas to share with you guys when I get back. You can use this time that we have apart to catch up on all the other episodes and send it to your friends, send it to your sister, send it to your mom, and just share what I have shared with you. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this season. Please feel free to send me a voice memo to be featured in the next episode. We are going to be going through some Q&A again. So please reach out if you are interested in being featured in the show. Okay, guys, let's get into it. So we're going to start, as always, with doctor advice. So we are talking about evolution here. And when I say evolution, I mean evolving into the future version of yourself. And just some doctor advice. A lot of things in the health world, we talk about the physical, but there is also the emotional and the mental, and a lot of it has to do with mindset. And the really, really cool thing about neuroscience is neuroplasticity. And this is my favorite part about neuroscience. It's really cool. Your brain literally can create new circuits of wiring, and that's what we call neuroplasticity. The brain can rewire new habits, and this proves that you are capable of change. So if there is something lifestyle-wise that you are not happy with, you can make a change. Science tells us that you can make a change. You can literally create new neural pathways in your brain. Repeated habits strengthen neural pathways. It is never too late to change. So, the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's not how humans are. We can change. We can evolve. Even small daily choices, like taking 10 minutes to breathe or meditate or journal or move, can help rewire your brain over time. This proves that change is biologically possible. It is not just a mindset concept, which is so freaking cool. Hormones can also adapt over time. Consistent sleep, nutrition, and movement all lead to long-term positive changes regarding your hormone balance and cycle regulation. Hormones respond to lifestyle patterns. Your cycle, your cortisol, your insulin, your thyroid all adapt over time. Regular sleep, as we've talked about, stabilizes cortisol and supports estrogen and progesterone balance. Movement improves insulin sensitivity, mood regulating hormones, and cycle regularity. And nutrient-dense foods help with digestion and hormones and the gut, and all of these things. So these are all things that we've talked about in these episodes, but just knowing that making any micro change in any of the areas that we've talked about will help your body to evolve into the healthier version of yourself. So ultimately, your lifestyle can control how you are feeling. And if you make these little micro shifts, eventually you will evolve into the better version of yourself. And that's the hope. And then let's talk behavior change science. We've talked about Atomic Habits, which is a really great book. And something that they talk about is habit stacking and stacking one habit on top of the other. Habit stacking is pairing something that you already do with a habit that you want to do. Like, say, after I brush my teeth, I'm going to go journal. So you're already going to brush your teeth, go journal. So this is a really cool way that you can start to integrate some of these new behaviors into your lifestyle. And then we want to talk about identity-based habits, being someone that needs to exercise versus I am someone who moves daily. I am healthy. I am active. Speaking these things into existence in a way, you can kind of think of it as manifestation. You can think of it as, whatever you want to think of, but just know that scientifically, it's really helpful to use identity-based habits. You are a healthy person, not I need to be healthy. I am a runner, not I need to go for a run. Tiny little changes over time will compound into something greater. And tracking your progress and celebrating all your little micro wins reinforces new behaviors and strengthens your self-efficacy, which is really fun. And then epigenetics, so lifestyle practices can turn genes on or off, which I think is really cool to think about. Biology is not your destiny. My mom had always joked that we got scraped from the bottom of the gene pool because we have terrible family genetics, but knowing that you can impact which genes are on and off is really, really cool to hear. So your DNA is not your destiny. Your environment and behaviors can influence your gene expression. If you make positive lifestyle changes, if you manage your stress, if you focus on movement, if you focus on your sleep, you can switch on healthy genes and you can turn off not healthy genes. So, there's only so much that we can do with some parts of genetics, but the fact that you can switch on and off some of these genes gives me a little bit of hope coming from someone who has been scraped from the bottom of the gene pool. Quote my mom. It's a joke, but biology is adaptable. It is not fixed. That is my point here. So no matter how terrible your family history is, there are some things that are in your control. And if you are able to control these things, then you are going to live a healthier life. And the coolest thing is that these positive lifestyle changes will influence the next generation of the genes that they're expressing. So something that really motivates me is that one day I want to have kids. And if I'm healthy now, my kids will be healthier in the future. So I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my children and their children. And it's really beautiful to think about and very motivating. And then finally, I want to talk about women and stress again. Women who consistently practice stress management have lower inflammation and a stronger immune system. Techniques like mindfulness, breath work, improve emotional regulation long term. Resilience is trainable. Resilience, again, is a behavior that we can train. And these little micro changes over time will compound into an effect that will change and help you to evolve over time. So I share all of these things, these science, evidence-based concepts with you to empower you. You are not stuck. Your biology does not define you. You can make some of these changes. We've talked about sleep. We've talked about movement. We have talked about your cycles. We have talked about diet, nutrition, bladder health, bowel health. We've talked about stress management. And all of these things are things that are within your control. And making these little micro changes in all of these aspects of your life will help you to evolve into a healthier version of yourself. So I say these things to empower you, to inspire you, and hopefully you will take at least one little habit out of this whole season and apply it to your life and look back next year and be so proud of yourself about what progress that you've made. You are in control here, and that is so cool. You are in the driver's seat. You just got to pick what you want to focus on and stick with it. And sticking with it, I say but, pick one little thing. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can be a little micro habit, and over time that will compound, and that may inspire you to pick another habit and start adding things on. And before you know it, you have evolved into the person that you wanted to be. Remember, you are the CEO of your health. You are in the driver's seat. Your biology is built to adapt, to evolve, to change over time. You are resilient. And something really cool that I've learned about my field as being a PT is that I can help people feel better, yes, but a lot of these things, your body heals over time naturally. And, you want to be doing things to support that healing. And that makes my job really easy as a PT because I get to guide people toward things that will help their body heal quicker. And that makes my job easy because your body is already working for you. You just need to give it some support. Like, for example, after you have a baby, yes, one day over time, your body is going to adapt and your core is going to get stronger. However, being in PT, I can tell you all the right things to do to help you strengthen your core faster. And if we give your body just a little bit of support, your body knows how to evolve and change over time. And that's the same for your mindset, and that's the same for all the things that we've talked about. If we are supporting our body by adding on these little habits here and there, pick and choose a few things, overall this is going to compound. Your body is going to really feed off of all the positive things that you were aiming toward, and you are going to just slingshot into the next version of yourself, which is so freaking cool. Speaking of body empowerment and listening to your body, something that I really want to touch on in this episode is that learning your body is step one. Step two is advocating for yourself. So as a provider, I encourage you, if you have questions about your body, if you know that something is off, when you go to your medical appointment, you need to advocate for yourself. Because research shows that women's health is under-researched, under-talked about, under-treated. It is dismissed. So if you are able to tap into what your body is telling you, track your cycles, log your symptoms, bringing notes into your appointments so that you can help advocate for yourself when you go to the doctor, that is going to put you more into the driver's seat. And I know that it can be challenging, but advocating for yourself is so important in the medical system that we live in, and especially in the United States. I see patients get passed around to different providers, and I am trying as a PT. Sometimes, certain things might not be my specialty, and that's when I want to refer out. But finding a provider that will listen to you, and if you feel like you are being dismissed by your provider, go get a second opinion and stand up for yourself because your body knows what is going on. Okay? Okay, good talk. Emotional health as evolution as well. Evolution isn't just physical, it is emotional too. Your feelings are data, they are not obstacles. They tell you what's working and they're telling you what needs attention. Pause and just notice, how are you feeling? You can pause right now, actually. Let's just check in. Take a pause and notice, how are you feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? What does your body need? Naming and noticing your emotions is a micro moment of evolution. This builds resilience over time. This helps you tap into how your body is feeling. This is a really good book. It's called Glow in the Effing Dark. And they talk about simple practices to heal your soul. It's a really good book. And this author also wrote Buy Yourself the Effing Lilies. But anyway, this book has something called a feeling wheel, which is really cool because it helps you identify your emotions. So when you take a look at it, there are bigger categories. So joy, disgust, anger, sad, surprise, fear. Okay, which of those feelings is similar? So I'm going to say joy. And then there's different little subcategories. So under joy, there's trusting, feeling myself, accepted, optimistic. Let's just pick optimistic. And then there's two other words, hopeful and grateful. So this is just kind of a tool that you can use to help you identify how you're feeling in a given moment. And learning how to do this builds emotional resiliency, which will help you tap into all the other health goals that you want to reach. And it helps you just kind of stay in tune with your body a little bit better. So as far as evolution goes, emotional health is something that is so vitally important. So this is my little recommendation of the week. Don't you guys love all the book recommendations every week? Has anybody read any of them? Comment below if you've read any of them. Okay, so we've talked about empowerment, we've talked about emotions, and now I want to talk about community. Community is a support for growth. You can ask for help. I know we are women and I know we are strong and I know that we want to do it all, but you have a team of people that are wanting to support you. I'll tell you who's my team. So I have so many people, but having this mindset will really take some pressure off of all the things that you have to do as a woman in this world. I have a nutritionist, I have a therapist, I have a Pilates instructor, I have a yoga instructor, I have a physical therapist. I have a team of people that can help me. I have a financial advisor. I have my friends, of course, but getting a professional to help you with all these little things in your life is amazing. And you can ask for help from anyone. Personal growth is easier when you have a team backing you. Being connected with people, bouncing ideas off of each other, working together, collaborating, feeling less alone, feeling less isolated. I'm going to tell you guys, last year when I moved here, I had a really, really bad bout of seasonal depression. And I love living with my partner, but I didn't have any girlhood support here. I had my coworkers, which I didn't really know well back then. And then I had my boyfriend, and my family doesn't live here. And I was really sad. But then this year, I met some really great girlfriends that work with me or live in the area, and they really saved my seasonal depression. And having a community of people that I've built, and it's been hard. I'm not going to say it's been easy. I think it took me at least 6 months since I lived here, and I think I'm a pretty outgoing person to really make a friend. And going into this winter, I'm not as scared. I really am not, because I know that I have people to back me up. And, I'm not discounting any of my long distance friends. FaceTimes are great. Visiting home for the weekend is great, but that doesn't always happen. But having somebody close by, but building a community where you are is so crucial to women's health, because going through something alone negatively impacts your emotions, which will negatively impact all the habits and will negatively impact the outcome of the goals that you have for yourself. And having community support to lift you up, to show you love, to show you support, to relate to you, it's just amazing. It's crucial. It's vital. You need it to survive. Humans used to live in tribes. We need people to survive. We cannot do it alone. Other ways to find community, if you are struggling with this, join a group class, join a book club, go to one of those cringy, maybe not cringy, but little meetup things where you meet people, go on a walk with somebody, get a health accountability buddy, join an online community. And there's so many things you can do, especially in the world with the internet. But I do find that having in-person relations with people is just top tier. Although I do have a lot of virtual friends, I will say. We live in this digital age. And shout out to the Soul in Progress community by Kayla Rose. Literally my favorite online community ever. And I've also been a part of the Sculpt You community, online community, which is great. I'm a part of Busy Blooming's online community. Shout out to Tess Barclay. She's awesome. Her podcast is awesome. If you're into social media or you want to learn how to grow an online business, recommend her. But anyway, tangent. Point is, we need community to survive. And sharing your thoughts with people, teaching others what you've learned really reinforces all these habits for yourself. Getting an accountability buddy, getting somebody who will go to a Pilates class with you. Like, I literally made a friend in this area by the girl on the reformer next to me in my Pilates class was like, hey, do you want to go to another class together again? And I said yes. And then we got each other's numbers and now we're friends. So emotional awareness, advocacy, and having a community are all vital for your evolution. When we honor our feelings and surround ourselves with people who support you and give you a positive effect on your emotions, you can create an environment that will help you to grow and evolve sustainably. So let's just finally put all the puzzle pieces together. So when you've rested better, you have more energy to move. When you move, your digestion will be better. When your digestion is better, you feel more clear and more present. Each small shift feeds the next, and that is evolution. Look at yourself over time. Past you, future you, present you. And I know that we talked about practicing presence, but it is okay to reflect a little bit. Just don't harp. We practice presence, but reflection helps you notice growth. Where were you even when we first started this recipe journey, if you have been following along from the beginning? How do you feel different now, physically, mentally, or emotionally? What is one small habit that you've been consistent with since we started and that you're proud of? And if you've missed all of our other episodes, go back and watch them. And then ask yourself these questions again. Choose one part of the recipe to practice. Let's challenge ourselves. It takes 66 days to create a new habit, I believe. But let's just start with half. So, over the next month, let's think about one aspect from the word recipe from this whole season. And it might literally be trying to define your emotion at the end of the day. Just pick what is the emotion at the end of the day for you. That might be aiming to get daily movement. That might be trying to increase your sleep or decrease your sleep debt. Observe what changes that you've made and how that will ultimately lead to the evolution of who you want to become. Get really clear with yourself on who you want to become, and then one foot in front of the other, one little micro shift at a time. Whatever your goals are, you are in control. You have the power. You really do. And I am so proud of you for coming as far as you have already. I really am, because I know if you're listening to this, that you have made some amazing changes already. So feel free, please reach out and tell me. Please, please reach out and tell me what kind of shifts have you made over the past month, over the past week, whatever it may be. Set yourself a little deadline, timeline, whatever. Something to kind of close us out. Who is the next version of me? And what does she need right now? And I want to tell you guys, I am in the process of my own evolution. And there have been a lot of things that have already evolved and changed. Me looking back a year ago, today, how I am. There's a lot of things that haven't changed. But there's something that while I am taking a little podcast break that I will share with you probably on Instagram. So keep your eyes out. I'm going to share. But just like a little health goal that I've come up with and I'm really excited about. So I can't wait for you guys to see my evolution, and I can't wait to see yours. So please share, tag me if you feel called to and you want to share what little micro habit you're working on, what part of the recipe that has changed your life, and what kind of things that you are evolving. What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? How do you want to evolve? And how do you see that already happening right in front of your eyes? And little side note, I love taking pictures, and I think that's an awesome way to track your evolution. I look back at a picture from myself a year ago and I'm like, wow, I look different. Like, you can see the energy change. And I know that some of my listeners are really relating to this. But journaling helps. Any little breadcrumbs that you want to leave along the way. Trackers, journals, photos. Let's leave some breadcrumbs and kind of see how we evolve in the next few months. And using the parts of the recipe to help you evolve into the person that you want to be. Recipe isn't a checklist. Recipe is rhythm. It is a cyclical practice. It's not something that you get right just once. It is an invitation to let go of perfectionism and honor your journey. It is a guide that you can return to again and again. And every time you do, you evolve even more. Evolution isn't instant. It unfolds slowly over weeks, months, seasons. And that is the beauty of growth. It builds quietly and steadily. And you only notice when you pause and look back. And that's why I like to take pictures. When you take pictures, they capture the small shifts that you otherwise may not even notice. That's like literally when there's a baby, if you've seen a baby, and then you see the baby like 2 weeks later and they look like a whole human, and they didn't look like a whole human like 2 weeks ago. That's literally what that is. That is evolution, baby. Okay, so time flies when you're having fun. That is the end of this episode. I just want to congratulate you to getting to the end of the season of Recipe to Your Health and Wellness. And you are not the same woman that you were when you pressed play on episode 1. So I am so proud of you. You have learned so much. And I hope that you were able to take away something really awesome from today's episode and any of the other episodes. Some things might take a little bit to process. Some things you might get immediately. But sometimes some of these things, they'll start to make sense down the road when the time is right. So just trust that. Trust the process. Be in the moment. Be present. Either way, the most important thing is that you've been shown up for yourself, girl. I am so proud of you. So like I said earlier, please share. I love to connect with you guys. Thanks for being my listener. And I am so excited for what's coming next. Stay tuned because I have big plans for the podcast. I'm thinking a little change up in the format. I'm thinking guests. Yeah, guests. Comment below if you're interested in guests or if you have any suggestions. I'm super excited for what's to come, guys. I am so excited to see this podcast evolve along with me and along with you. So for now, take care. Enjoy the beginning of the fall season, and I will see you next time. I'm so excited. We made it. Season finale is over. See you guys. Bye.